Brilliant. Thank you very much, John. Loved it. It's wonderful to see you all this evening. Nice to see so many smiling faces here on Zoom. As John was saying, we wanted to be sharing a little bit about the past year in the history of LASSN and the different things which have been going on. And I think there's too much to kind of cram off from the year, but here are a few kind of edited highlights. And these are all things which have been made possible due to the amazing clients that we have, fantastic volunteers, trustees, donors, and staff as well. So there's so many people to thank for the things that you're going to see that have been going on throughout this year. But we just want to give you that little flavour of what's been going on. And we've probably got about 2 minutes of slides. So I think Tina's going to cut me off to speak for too long on my slides. So to begin with, in January, we thought we'd have a very healthy start to the year. And in Connecting Opportunities, there was the chance for anyone who was involved with the project to get involved with a number of different sessions which were run. Some of them were looking at building confidence and improving mental health. Others were looking at improving sleep. And then there was some eating and how that can connect to health as well. In terms of a good, healthy start to the year as well, we started last year in May. We began LASSN, started a football five-a-side, which runs every Thursday. And it's available for anyone who's a refugee or asylum seeker in Leeds. And we're still getting about 20 to 25 people a week who come along to that, some from LASSN, some from other organisations. It's a way for people to come along, play sports, make friends, and just improve physical and mental health as well. We were also lucky, sort of at the end of the year and the start of the year of January, to get tickets to the theatre through the City of Sanctuary scheme that they have. And there was an amazing show called All the Beds I've Slept In. And that was run, all of the actors who were in that performance are people who've had lived experience of the asylum system in the UK, many of who have been destitute at some stage as well. So really powerful performance that people were able to go and see. As well, another really interesting thing, an amazing thing at the start of the year was the phone project we were able to start. And with that, LASSN were donated 100 phones and also 6 months free sort of data and credit as well for people who were in need of being able to have that to communicate. We were able to give some of the phones to other organisations in Leeds who were supporting people in need of that project as well, and also to be able to resource a lot of clients through LASSN to make sure they were to be able to communicate when maybe they wouldn't have been possible. And I just want to finish January with, it was actually on January the 31st, so fitting kind of end, was just the story of one of our English at Home learners and their teacher, Richard. And yeah, it's just, for me, it was a lovely moment. I went along to meet with them all for what was a review, and it actually fell on Richard's birthday. And when I was there, Roshanak, who was one of the women that he teaches, they put on a wonderful spread, had cakes and lots of sandwiches and everything else there on the table. And we sat there, had a talk, and afterwards they said to me, Richard, he comes every week and he's become like a second daddy to us. And they said he'd been invited along to the school nativity and been involved, and they'd gone to his house and helped with other things as well. And they said that it was now, he'd become a part of their family and they couldn't imagine life before he'd come along. And for me, it just kind of highlights just the difference that can be made in people's lives through those volunteers and just those relationships which have been built in many, many different forms in LASSN. So that is the sum up of January.
So in February, we had some absolutely wonderful news. Just a regular, everyday couple who lived in Leeds said that they wanted to buy us a house, buy a house for us to use, and they were willing to buy it and let us use it free of charge. So in February, a house was identified, building work was done, and with the help of the guests living in one of our other properties, we were able to start moving forward with preparing a 4-bedroom property that 4 destitute asylum seeker men would be living in. We were also able to, it's important that staff at LASSN stay up to date with current issues and risks that are present for the people we support, and we were able to access free training based in West Yorkshire on modern slavery, human trafficking and awareness training. Can you click the next slide, please, Tina? Thank you. So in March, we LASSN was nominated for the Leeds City Council's Compassionate City Awards, and Pippa, a volunteer, and I were absolutely honoured to go along and collect the Diversity Award that was won. And we collected it on behalf of every volunteer, client, staff member, and every supporter of LASSN, because together we make the organisation what it is. Ironically, we'd been given tickets on that same evening for Leeds for a Leeds Rhinos match, and they were the people presenting the award. So I think the people presenting quickly got off, but yeah, and a great night was had at the match. It was never been to a rugby match before and had a lovely experience. And we also said goodbye to Joanna, our project support officer. As Nicole previously mentioned, we have a house that 4 destitute asylum seeker men live in. Without this house, people would be street homeless, and they can stay in the house for 9 months. We all work hard, the people living in the house, volunteers, and myself, to build a community in the house, and a house where people feel respected and kindness is shown to them. The guests living in the house decided that they wanted to think about how they could really introduce that from the very beginning of somebody moving into the house, and they made a short film, which is the Welcome to Grace House film, alongside a volunteer. Really just got across the message that the accommodation's clean, people are friendly, and also it talked about the gardening project. Each month we have a volunteer coming along, and together the men in the house get in the garden. Green therapies, it really helps people to kind of switch off from all their stress and focus on producing something really positive. Over the last months, people have loved colour, so we've had lots and lots of blooms. We've had, as you can see, lots of lovely. Previously, people have liked growing vegetables, herbs. The garden is just provides respite for people. Also, Give a Gift are amazing. We work with people on very low or zero incomes, and periodically through the year, Give a Gift donate food parcels to the people we support. In April, through Ramadan, we were given lots of food parcels. We also had an adult cycling training ran by Connecting Opportunities, so lots was happening in April.
Thanks, Jo. So going on from what Jo was saying about the benefits of gardening and kind of green horticultural therapy, on the right-hand side there you'll see a box titled "Want to Grow Your Own Vegetables." So this was the 2nd year that we've been running the Growing Friendships project. And this year we had funding from the RHS, so the Royal Horticultural Society, who absolutely love the project that we have. That's a partnership with another organisation called Season Well. And we give people seedlings that have already started to grow, so they could be herbs or vegetables or flowers or a whole range of things. And basically the people we support get to ask the plants that they would like. Season Well grow them for us, and then we have a big distribution day where people come to collect the seedlings and the pots and compost and take them home. It's just been amazing to see what difference that has made of kind of growing your own little strawberry bush or your own tomato plant, or just using growing vegetables and fruits that people can eat and cook with has been such a joy. So that was launched again, this new funding from Royal Horticultural Society. It's been running all summer, and it culminated actually last week in the Festival of Flavour. We were invited to go and speak and do a cooking presentation at the Festival of Flavours at Harlow Car, RHS Harlow Car last week. So it's been a wonderful, wonderful project, really funded by RHS. As Joe said, Joanna, our admin support, left and Mahshid joined us, which was wonderful. So welcome to Mahshid, your first AGM. It's lovely to have you here. Lovely to have you as part of the team. At the bottom, there's a kind of a blue picture, which is the front of a recording to illustrate a song. So it's just one of the examples, one of the many examples that we have across the year of groups contacting us to say they want to do something to raise funds to give to us to donate. So this group, Music from the Attic, they made and sold it, or you could pay to download it, and all the profits they made were given to LASSN, which was really generous. You may remember as well that we have Refugee Week every June. This year there was a lot of work in preparing for and getting ready for Little Amal, the statue of the little girl, which is in that picture at the bottom. You may remember Little Amal signifies displaced children globally, and the puppet of Little Amal travelled from Syria through many countries and actually Leeds during Refugee Week. I know a lot of you were there, and it was such a moving evening. It was beautiful sunshine. It was just Leeds looking absolutely beautiful, and just the roads and the street were full of people just following this amazing puppet. It was really quite spellbinding, and a really special day, special evening. So then we moved in, bottom right hand corner, we moved into our new offices, which we're really excited to do. We're sharing a building with another organisation, another charity called MESMAC. It's a really city centre location. Yeah, we're really happy with the new space that we're in. Talking of buildings, the picture in the middle, the new Eva house that Joe was talking about opened in June, which was really exciting. There was a competition to try and find the name for what we were going to call the new house. You might remember that the first house is called Grace House. So there was lots of debate about what we were going to call the second house, and in the end there was a vote. Eva comes from the name of Eva Pinthus, who was an amazing supporter of LASSN. She was evacuated from Germany on the Kinder transport in 1938 and was evacuated to Britain. She's a very famous woman. If you look her, she has an obituary in The Guardian, and she has a fascinating story. She trained as a nurse, and she helped build a peace centre in Germany. She also was a lecturer for Leeds Beckett University, and spent her final 11-12 years of her life living in Menston in this area, and was a huge supporter of LASSN. And when she left a legacy of her money that's helped go towards the running of all of the Grace projects. So the vote was unanimous that the second house, house should be called after her. So that's where the name Eva comes from. Sadly, we say goodbye to Emily, who was the volunteers manager for Connecting Opportunities. She'd been here for 4 years. So we said goodbye to her. Always during Refugee Week, we had the Refugee World Cup. It's David's favourite week of the year, because David always ends up doing an amazing job running it. He normally ends up being injured, but he didn't play this year, so we were saved that. And David came back to the office in one piece after that Refugee World Cup, so that was a relief. I think I'm just going to ask who's going on to next. Yeah, sorry. I was going to ask Aya, but I think she's the August one. I'm going to ask her to speak. So,
yeah, in July we gathered for the first time after COVID. We did a picnic at Roundtable Park. Everyone had a good time, having conversations, playing games, and also Nikki and I ran a workshop. It was a movement and music workshop about nature and animals. It was great, and we are planning every summer.
I'm just going to ask Aya if she would like to talk a little about Talk. Aya is running Tea and Talk for the Connected Opportunities Programme. Aya, are you happy to say something?
Everyone,
yes.
Hi everyone, nice to we had a great opportunity in many places last August. In the first week we had visited Strawberry Field in Horsforth. It was a unique experience, especially when the group rode the tractor to pick up the strawberry and raspberries. The kids were so picky for the most delicious strawberry fruit in the field, and everyone, honestly, everyone, we agreed the taste was much better than the fruit in supermarket. But in second week, we had a fantastic day in the Temple Museum Farm. It's worth to say it's one of the best family attraction in Leeds. And we visited also Meanwood Park with lovely sunny days. The men had coffee while the children were having fun on the plentiful grass and playgrounds. And last week we visited Kirkstall Abbey. There were some activities for children. And after that, the women were enjoying the picnic as the children had much fun while playing bubbles and footballs. Yeah, in the end, I would like to thank LASSN and Connect Opportunity for all the help and support they offered to make all this happen.
Thank you, Aya, so much. You do such an amazing job running trips for the Tea and Talk group. Aya took a group to pick pumpkins in a field the other day as well, which was, yeah, you are a star at thinking up great trips to take them on. The last thing to say about August was we were really thrilled to get 3 years more funding for English at Home, which was a massive, massive achievement by John, getting the bid in and putting all the work together. And yeah, it's a real blessing to know that we have that for the next 3 years for English.
In September, Aya's continued to be very busy, and there was a Tea and Talk trip to Marks and Spencer's to see the archive there, and it sounded like it was another great day that was had by everyone who went. We also had one of our fantastic volunteers called Sahema has launched a book called Tangled in Terror, Uprooting Islamophobia. And she had a book launch a few months ago at the Playhouse, and we heard her speak and just said, it's just too amazing, we need to get her in to do an event for LASSN as well. She came and spoke about Islamophobia and a Q&A session. And again, it was absolutely mind-blowing, well worth reading the book as well. We can put the link in to that. And she's, yeah, a very, very powerful speaker and a very fantastic volunteer as well. Also during September, there was a gig which was put on by some fundraisers for us called Dads Against the Machine. And they performed a gig of some rock music, which raised over £600 for LASSN. And again, that's just highlighting, yeah, just the amazing people as individuals who have wanted to give to LASSN and use their skills and abilities to be able to do that. And it sounded like it was a fantastic night. Also, the Get Active project, which was launched in September, and that was where people who were in Grace Hosting were given months free membership to the gyms. And this was to be able to help people to stay active and to really help kind of relieve stress and improve mental health by able to get to the gym. And I know from a few of the people I've spoke who've been doing that seem to absolutely love it. One of the guys I spoke to a couple of days ago said he goes 6 days a week. So it's getting there, yeah, definitely getting a lot of use for that month's membership. And just to finish on, I started on a birthday and I thought I'd finish on one as well. So there was a very special 50th birthday by somebody who was hosted in Grace Hosting, who we'll call Mary for the story. And yeah, she'd been having quite a hard time and a lot of pressure and stress and everything else with her case and worrying obviously about friends and family back home. And she said for her 50th birthday, the host's mother had prepared an amazing cake which had a few challenges with the preparation. So the cake had to be starch-free, which means there'd be no flour in it, had to have no sugar in it, and had to have no dairy. And despite that, it still got a poor Hollywood hack, I think, for being such a good cake. And she took it to church with her, gave it, and she said that people were running up to come and grab a slice of the cake. And I know she was saying that she just felt so touched that someone had gone to such an effort to celebrate her birthday and to put in such an effort to make a cake in this way. And yeah, she just said that they just gave her such a sense of well-being amongst all that stress and pressure to know that they said that much for her, which is just an amazing thing.
Oh, I think I've got the last slide, so I think I've got all the time left now to take my time with this one. So no, I just wanted to say I've just joined LASSN as the Connection Opportunities Volunteers Manager. It's an absolute pleasure to meet you all. For those of you who have not seen you, I hope I get to meet you all soon. And I'm just feeling really grateful to be part of this amazing organization. I'm really inspired by all the outcomes that have been achieved, and really looking forward to be part of this and supporting the clients going forward, and all the amazing work that everybody's been doing, and with the Tea and Talk initiative as well going forward. So for October, apart from me joining, my name's Mehjabeen, as you can see on there, the highlights have been the new training that has been launched for the teachers of the English at Home initiative project, as well as welcoming her to LASSN in the role of the Ukraine host development worker. So Anna will be setting up support groups across Leeds that will be supporting people who are hosting Ukrainian refugees. And also a few sort of upcoming events that we have to look forward is the mental health workshop, which will actually be run by one of our trustees, Yoshiko, supporting volunteers who will be supporting clients with any mental health issues. And then also the exciting end of year celebration around the Christmas time, a wonderful way to end the year, thank our volunteers, celebrate the amazing achievements that have been happening throughout the year. And sadly seeing Tina leave as well this month. So it's been a massive support for me coming into the organization with her wealth of knowledge and experience and positive energy. So thank you so much, Tina, for everything that you've brought, and just been a massive support to the whole team and to LASSN, and wish you the very best for the future. And I hand over to Mahshid to say a little bit about the home project.
Thank you. LASSN partnered with People's Voice Media on this amazing project called Home, where it was a 3 days workshop. People learn how to become community reporters, which means they would be able to use digital tools, gathering stories and sharing stories of asylum seekers and refugees. And the aim of this project is to create an animation and share it in different places in North England, like exhibitions and galleries, which is great.